Hi everybody, welcome to Tech Tip Friday. I'm your host Kurt Staley, that plastics guy, bringing you a tech tip that you can take with you to the shop floor today. So I decided I wanted to re-record a number of the segments that I did pertaining to physical property characteristics of polymers, mostly because I have a better studio setup, better recording technology, and better audio. So I thought this would be a good opportunity. And I'm going to start with melt flow index. So what does melt flow mean? It's the most commonly used of the physical property characteristics, especially when we're talking about commodities such as polypropylene and polyethylene. So to measure melt flow, there is a calibrated instrument that essentially heats the polymer, and it may or may not have a built-in stopwatch or timer capability, and one would put several grams of the pellet they want to test into the hopper of the device. The device is heated typically 230 degrees Celsius, but the physical property data sheet will tell you the condition that it's tested to, and the device will allow a certain amount of these pellets to drop and be collected into a crucible. That crucible is weighed, and we can tell how much plastic flowed from the input to this crucible over a given amount of time. So that is generally measured in grams per centimeter per unit of measure, per unit of time. So we would get a result like 20 or 5 or 1.3 or maybe 50 if the device is capable and the tester is also quite familiar with the device. So the higher the value, the more susceptible it is to error. The lower the value, it's probably a little bit safer to bet that it's going to be on the money. So these test values, when you're comparing one product to another, you do have to remember that the time of the test, the weight of the weight put on top of the material to force it to flow through the tester, and the temperature of the tester are variables that must be aligned to ensure that you're comparing two materials on an apples-to-apples basis. If one of these variables, it's typically temperature, is different, it can give you some really different and puzzling results. So make sure you're looking at things that are similar in value and that should be done in accordance with an ASTM test procedure. If not, the data sheet will tell you otherwise. So I do hope that gives you a little bit of better background on what melt flow is about, how it's measured, but most importantly, when you're comparing two materials, make sure the test parameters of the two materials are the same, or you're not going to be able to really have a fair comparison between two products. So I do hope that helps, and I'm wishing you a happy Friday, a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week. Thanks so much. Bye for now.